Okay, next thing we want to do is once you know invoice and receive payment, debit note is very simple. Debit note, you can say actually it's like an invoice, but the usage, the purpose is different. Why? Because debit note is used for, usually you say interest charge. You don't want to raise another invoice, right? For a small thing like that. Oh. So usually we'll raise debit note. That's the add-on charge to the previous invoice. So that's why we use debit note. So how do we create debit note? It's the same. We just need to select the account. I mean, we need to select the customers. Then we select the whatever purpose we are creating this debit note. If it's an interest charge, we look for the interest account. We need the interest account. So here we don't have, but usually it's under other income. So let's say if I want to create an interest charge account under other income, so I go to account maintenance. Okay, other income here, I create a interest charge. But depends, not all interest charge is under other income. If your revenue comes from interest charge, maybe you have to go to revenue. Or like Tai Long, you know Tai Long? Long charge. You know Tai Long here, don't be me. Okay, so these are the depends on what your nature business. Not charge, I think interest earn gain. Something like that should be something like that. Okay, so now I go back to my transaction. Okay, so here I select this. So depends on how much I gain now. Let's say I gain $1 lah, $1. So I create one interest. Oh, never mind. Usually like debit note and credit note, you'll find the special column called reason. You'll find this inside credit note as well. So that's very simple, right? Debit note. All right. So it looks like the invoice. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the credit note. Credit note has one similar thing with the payment. What is the similarity? The similarity is they got the knockoff. So just now we saw the payment, you see something like knockoff, right? Credit note also got knockoff. Okay. So credit note, there are two reasons, two common reasons. One is you provide extra discount. And then another one is customer return goods, right? So these are the two common reasons for the reason to raise the credit note. Okay, so when you raise a credit note, right, you need to put in the reason because this happened during the GST time, because credit note is a very sensitive transaction. If you raise a credit note, you must give a good reason why you raise a credit note. Okay. During GST, I don't know about SST. I don't know SST still very sensitive or not. But I think it's a good practice that we have to control our credit note. So here credit note, let's say it's a return. Okay, return. So usually we say it's a return inwards. Return, let's say 10, $30, $30 return. So this $30, the returns, right, we have to knock off the outstanding invoice. Cannot be there's a credit note without invoice. That's unusual, right? That's very unusual. You can have payment without invoice. Yes, that's called advance payment. But you cannot be having a credit note without invoice. There's no advance discount. Go on. No, right? Okay, there's no advance discount. All right, so this I've done this credit note. It's very simple, right? It's the same thing, except that Instead of selecting payment method, I need to know which account it goes to. Okay, so I save. Okay, so that's all for the credit note. Very simple, right? Straightforward. But again, remember you must knock off when there's a need to knock off. The main original 4 important transaction is actually that complete accounting transaction. We'll say complete accounting transaction. The 4 main transaction is invoice, receipt, debit note, credit note. These 4 actually can complete accounting transaction. But later on, we add on like refund. Without this transaction refund, right, we still can do refund with these 4 transactions. It's just that it's very troublesome, very troublesome. So now we add in certain function that makes it easier, which is called AR refund. Okay, refund is something that we do after or before. Wait, after customer make payment, right? After we receive payment. But this refund, right? The purpose of this refund is to knock off any unapplied amount of payment. Knock off any unapplied amount of payment or credit note. What is unapplied amount of payment and credit note? That's a bit confusing, right? Unapplied amount means, let's say, I create one more payment here. I create one more payment. Okay, let's say this payment is $50, but it doesn't do any knockoff. All right, it doesn't do any knockoff, $50. Then if I save, now I go back to the refund. Then you can find this $50 here. So that means this $50 of this payment, right, is unapplied amount. In other words, it doesn't actually knock off any invoice. Then only when I make payment, I can knock off the payment or credit note also same. Credit note and payment, any unapplied amount, then I can knock off. Okay. Okay, what is the logic behind here? Okay, usually when we create a payment, right, we are receiving money. That means our bank increase, the money increase. But then when we do this refund, right, it actually reduce your money in the bank. All right, reduce your money because we need to take out money and return to customer. So this payment method, right, the account that we select, right, the bank that we select, the money inside this bank will be credit, will be reduced. Okay, so reduce how much is the amount that I want to knock off the unapplied amount. Okay. But of course, you don't have to, must be $50. Let's say if the unapplied amount is it's not exact $50, right? You can also put like $30. I'm going to refund. I'm going to keep the 20 outstanding for other reasons. Also can oh. So this refund, in other words, to me is useful for advance payment. Advance payment means like you go buy a car, you put a deposit. Actually, that deposit is more like a secure payment. It's more like in GST we categorize deposit as one is secure, one is what you call advance payment. Advance payment means you cannot refund one, something like that. Another advance payment cannot refund. Yeah, deposit, secure deposit is something that you can refund, right? Or even forfeit. Okay, but the one that you can refund usually is then you can easily raise, because at the time of the payment there's no invoice to knock off. So there's no invoice, then you can then the payment you have unapplied amount. With the unapplied amount, then you can use this refund to return. Okay, you get what I mean? All right. This is when customer created the AR payment without invoice to knock off, and this AR payment will have an unapplied amount, and later on this unapplied amount you want to return to customer, then we create this AR refund. Okay, but there are also a lot of different scenarios. I don't want to confuse. You just remember AR refund is to knock off unapplied amount of payment and credit note. Okay, next transaction which I want to show you is the deposit. Now we come to another similar topic that relate to just now the refund is AR deposit. Now we have this transaction also, AR deposit. Okay, I'll show you how to operate, how to use it. Okay, first, before we can use the deposit, we need to create a deposit account. If you remember, right, just now at the GL account maintenance, you see the bank cash, there's one deposit button as well, together with the cash and bank. Okay, so now I have to decide where there are two types of deposit. One is deposit received, another one is deposit received, another one called deposit what? Okay, deposit received is the deposit I received from my customer. Okay, deposit that I receive from my customer, usually I put them under current liabilities because that deposit I will consider, depends on how you consider it, but usually if let's say I consider it's not my asset yet, then I consider as current liabilities. So I'm going to create the deposit under current liabilities, okay? So I highlight the account type current liabilities and then I click bank cash deposit. Okay, then I'll put in the account code as usual, 450. Okay. Usually in the account term is not called deposit receipt. They got another terms one, very confusing one. But then I just put these terms on. That job let the account do the correct terms. Okay, deposit received as a payment method as well. Okay, now I just save it. Oh, actually, they already got one, you see, but that one is normal account. We cannot use the normal account. That means we have to remove this normal account and then create a special account for the deposit receipt. Okay, so I'll just delete the original one. Okay. Okay, so once I delete the original one, maybe now my account number skip, right? So I will use this time to show you how can we change account code. Because now I want to change this account code to 440, right? But if I double click it, you see the account code I cannot change, right? So I'll use this example to show you to change the account code. You go to Tools, Change Code, change account number. Very fast. Then you put in the current code is 450. And I'm going to change to 440. Okay, 440. Okay, now if I refresh, you can find your deposit now is 440. Okay. So now I created the deposit receipt for the AR deposit. So I go back to AR deposit here. Okay, new. Okay. Now there are a few things I have to fill in the deposit, AR deposit. first thing I need to have a deposit account. So the deposit account is my deposit receipt. And you notice this has to be a special account, or that just now I just created using the button special account. So if it's a normal account, it won't appear here. So if today you say, hey, you say why my deposit receipt account not appearing inside the AR deposit, then you have to go back and check whether it's a SDP as a special account. If it's not, that means you have to create one SDP account. Okay. SDP means a special deposit, special deposit. Okay, now I selected account deposit receipt here. Okay, customer is optional. You can either have a customer code now or without, because sometimes at this point when you receive, right, you haven't even created the customer yet, because you are thinking, oh, maybe this deposit later I'll just create a refund or forfeit. Then you never go to the customer account, right? Then we don't have to create the customer because it's a 定金啊，定金哦，how to say? Okay, it's a deposit So, but this deposit definitely I need to tell the money that I received go to which bank account. So I add the payment method. Okay, the payment method here, I choose the bank account. Let's say this bank. And example, I received a deposit of 300. Okay, payment by, for good reference, Mr. Tang. Okay, then save. Check number doesn't matter. Okay. So this is the deposit I received. Okay, let's make it something like this deposit will have two possibility at the end, or maybe three possibility. We got 300, right? We split into 3 transactions. Because this deposit is the money I received, and at the end, I got 3 possibilities. One is forfeit, one is refund, one is I convert to actual payment. Also, there are 3 possibilities. So how do I do forfeit first? Forfeit is the easiest one, and easy money also. Okay, let's say where do I do, right? I select this, you see this outstanding 300, right? So I got 300. Let's say I forfeit $50 lah. Okay, so I go view this transaction. Okay, I view it, not edit. If you click edit, I think you cannot do that. Let me see. If I edit, yeah, edit, you cannot do that. Edit is to edit this deposit. Then you cannot actually do further transaction. All right. But if you want to further this deposit, is view. Okay, when I click view, you see here there's a button called forfeit. Okay, there's a forfeit button. I click. Okay, then when is the date forfeit? I can have multiple forfeit also. Today maybe forfeit 20, tomorrow I forfeit 30. I can have multiple, but I just do one. Okay, let's say today they forfeit $50. So other income, forfeit also usually go to other income, but I don't have the forfeit account. So I temporarily park inside the something with the earn one just now, which but no. Just now the account called already. I forgot. Interest earn, interest earn. Okay, interest gain. Okay, I temporarily put inside here the forfeit. Okay, the amount 50. So once I create this $50, okay, now you see the outstanding becomes 250. Okay, now I want to do another transaction for this deposit refund. Same thing, we view the deposit and then there's a button refund. So we refund it. Okay, you can create multiple refund as well. So refund is to you have to take money out and return to customer. So depends on which account you want to take out and what method you are using it to return the money. Let's say it's a check. Okay, so I pay a check to my customer. Okay, let's say a refund 150. Okay, 150 to refund to my customer. Okay, then okay, save. So here you see the refund is 150 and remain 100. So this 100 I want to convert to payment to knock off invoice. So what I do is, okay, you see, up until now I still don't know who is the customer, right? I don't know. But now I want to convert this 100 to one of the customer payment. AR payment, I go to AR payment, AR receive payment. Okay, create new payment. I select the company name. Okay, now it says the debtor has the following unapplied amount to you, or this one is the payment of 50 lah, 50, not the deposit. But I don't want, I cancel. Okay, I'm going to use the deposit receipt. If you are going to convert the deposit into the payment, all right, then the payment method, we're not going to select bank or anywhere, anything. We select the deposit receipt, okay, the special account. Then once we select, right, if there's a specific customer deposit, then it will show it in here, all right? But do you remember just now that deposit, we don't know who the customer is, so we go to unassigned. So when we come to unassigned, we see there's a deposit here with 100 outstanding. So we're going to convert this. So we, okay, after we select, this 100, it will apply into this payment. And then we use that deposit to pay off or knock off this invoice. Okay, the invoice 4. So that's how we convert. Okay, but if today I got 100 outstanding, I use up $80 partial to knock off this invoice. The remain will be $20, right? There will still be $20 outstanding in the deposit. That $20 deposit you must use back for the same customer. I cannot use it for other. You see, now I only the deposit 100, I only use 80, right? Okay, when I create another payment for the same customer, okay, then I select the deposit receipt. Now you see, the $20 now jumps to the debtor deposit. It's not at the unassigned already because one deposit it must apply to same customer. You cannot say multiple different customer, cannot. It must all that one deposit must applies to same customer. So that's how the deposit works. Okay. Any questions? Okay, the last one. How about AP Contra? The one is, what is the purpose? By looking at the name, the contra usually is to neutralize. I can use the word neutralize, like balance out, how clear off both two sides. So what is the two side? The two side means today if I owe someone money and that someone also owe me something, and we contra by looking at the same value to clear the outstanding, something like that. So in this accounting, in terms of here, right, that means we are contra what? Contra the AR and AP. Okay. So let's say today I got a customer called XYZ. Okay. I got a customer called XYZ, and this customer is going to owe me 500. Okay, this customer owing me 500. And at the same time, this customer is also my supplier called supplier XYZ. All right. So this supplier also supply me some goods. And the value of these goods, right, which I purchased from this supplier is 300. Okay, instead of trading return money or something like that, why not we contra it and then contra. So contra means I want to contra it, let's say we have an agreement to contra $300, okay, $300. So I'll go to the AP Contra entry. Then here you see we got to select debtor and creditor. So the debtor is XYZ. The creditor I also select XYZ. So once we select these two, I mean the one debtor, one creditor, you see their outstanding will show it. So this outstanding, right? Let's say if I want to clear 300 means I'm going to knock off the 300 here. Okay, but then when I knock off the invoice 6, it takes the full amount of 500 by change to 300. Okay. Then how come it doesn't apply? Oh, control amount here, I didn't key. There I need to key the amount, so 300. Okay, then you get to balance it. You need to balance the two sides. And then I just save. Oh, I just save. Okay, so that's how the contra works. We don't have to create a credit note, debit note, very troublesome. So you just create under AR, even though it involves ARAP, but it's under AR. But there's one thing that this contra cannot do. We want to do a contra with different currency. That means, let's say, today got another XYZ, but it's in USD. Okay. This is also XYZ, but the country is trading in USD. Okay, let's say USD 100. Oh, I forgot to select it's a USD, right? Oh, yeah. I need to change it. Okay, USD. So now I create the invoice again. Okay, so total ringgit ratio is 420. Okay, now the SYZ owing me ringgit ratio 420, but because this invoice is in USD, so I go to AI invoice, the XYZ outstanding is 500 here, right? Hey, how come still got 500 here? Oh, okay, 200, just not refresh. So the XYZ still got outstanding of 200 for this invoice. So I want to contra 200 with the USD. I go to ARIP. Okay, then I select one is XYZ customer, another one USD XYZ. Okay, it seems like, okay, it makes sense, right? Owe me 200, I want to contra. So something very weird, right? Wait, which one is? This customer is owing me 200. Okay, I want to control this amount. But this 100, right, outstanding is in USD, right? It's in USD. By showing me this 100, how am I going to contra with the 200? Cannot, right? Okay, that's why it cannot. If I try to save this, it will refuse to save. Okay, now I say debtor and creditor must be in the same currency. So you can do the AIP contra with the same foreign currency only, USD to USD, Sing dollar to Sing dollar, Ringgit Malaysia to Ringgit Malaysia. Okay. So if it's different currency, then you have to do the credit note, debit note, the transaction. Okay. All right. So that's all for the credit note contra. I mean the AIP contra. I think I'll show you the project and department now. Okay, the project and department is also related to account mostly. Because what's the benefit of project is that we can have another dimension to see this account balance. Okay, what I mean this another dimension is, all right, let's say today if we look at our balance sheet, right, any date, you see this one is very flat, right? It's very flat. Flat means oh, this one fixed asset, the balance is this, trade debtors balance is that, other debtors the balance is this. So it's only one side. But today, if I want to have different department or different project, which depends on your industry, they are the two same concept, project or department, they are two same. But normally people will use project also to represent your construction company project, also to represent your different department also got. So up to you. All right. So what I'm trying to say is today, if you want to have a comparison of different project for this account, let's say, how you can do is by adding on the project features. Okay, so I show you the example here. Okay, project is the under general maintenance, but I don't see project here. Okay, so means I haven't enabled it under module setting. So I go to module setting. Okay, I'll tick the project. Okay, project. Then okay. Then I'll go back to general maintenance. Then you'll find the project maintenance here. Okay. Because the concept of department and project, they are the same. That means if you see the department, right, it's the same concept. The difference is if you use two, right, it's going to be very difficult to maintain. You see, there's another called department. It's quite difficult to maintain for your account here, right? So if you acquire two, right, make sure you know, make sure you understand very well how they work. Otherwise, you acquire two at the same time, you find it very difficult to maintain. Okay. Okay, so I'll show you project. Okay. So go to project maintenance. How do I create the project is by adding the name and code. Okay, the code for the project is let's say project A. Okay, let's say I got another project called Project B. Okay, maybe I want to create a sub-level for Project A. So after I selected the Project A, I click New Sub-Project. Okay, I call it Project A1. Okay, and then another Project A2. Okay, Project B just one level. So here, how many project I can have transaction? I mean, when I create transaction, how many project I can select? Huh? 3, right? Not 4, right? Because this project A I cannot select because this one is the parent project. So it's the same concept as the account, the parent and child. So here I go back, when I go to transaction invoice, let's say, okay, create a new transaction invoice. Then when I let's say when I choose the revenue, here you see the project, huh? Project. So this project I can choose project A1, A2, or project B. Okay, let's say I select project A1. Okay, here I put 100. Okay, and then I create another transaction for customer B. Let's say this one is project A2. Let's say the amount is 1,000. Okay, now if you let's say take a look at the comparison in the profit and no, not profit, the balance sheet. Okay, balance sheet. If I look at the report of balance sheet, right, my balance for this customer, all right, trade debtors total is 2,874, right? Let's say I want to have a breakdown. I want to see clearer what is inside the debtor. So here the debtor level, I increase to level 2. Enough level 2. Then I preview again. Okay, now I can see company A and company B. So the total of company A and company B is 51 and 2,000. So if company A, I click, I can drill down and see the company transaction. So, how come the project is empty? How come only 51? Oh, I need to inquire again. Okay, okay. So you see the project A2 is under company B, right? How about company A? How come company only 51? Oh, because got knockoff below. Okay, so company A, we got project A1 is 100. So if I want to see a comparison, because here you see it's very troublesome, right? I need to find out the amount for the company A under project A1. I need to click in and then I need to refresh. It's very troublesome, right? So one way of doing, I can choose another report here. Report format for the balance sheet or even profit and loss. I can select project comparison, or you can either go by yearly comparison or monthly comparison. So if I choose project comparison monthly, and which are the project I want to compare, just now I got this, and this, right? I want to compare these two. Okay, then these two will show as a column, all right? So now, or maybe project B also, I select project B. Okay, The data level same remains at 2. Now I preview. Now you see, the month today is the total, total remains same. But from here straight away, I can see different project. You have a different balance here. Correct? Correct, right? Project A2 is 1,000. How come 100? I thought it's 1,000 only. Oh, because got tax. All right, got tax SST. So correct. 1,100. And also for project A is 100. Okay, so if no question, right, that's basic for account part. We'll come back for a quick overview of the stock and invoices.